Hello there. Putin has put the last jigsaw piece in place for another land grab in the Ukraine. According to the US President Joe Biden, President Putin of Russia has sent military medical supplies to the Ukrainian border in preparation for a massive assault. And it's putting these sorts of assets in place that is seen as the final component of combat preparations. And this is something Russia did not need before entering the eastern separatist-held areas of Ukraine, as no opposition was expected. And the new target is possibly Ukraine's second largest city of Kharkiv, which is close to the Ukraine-Russia border, because 100 trucks full of Russian troops have been seen heading to that region. This is the beginning of a Russian invasion. You don't need blood unless you're planning to start a war, said Biden to the press last night. And as for his part, Putin has issued a series of unrealistic demands. Kiev must drop its bid for Ukraine membership of NATO. Ukraine must demilitarize, presumably to keep it weak. Kiev must negotiate with the separatists, presumably to break the country up into bite-sized chunks. Not that he'll get very far with those demands, but he can make a weak claim of trying the route of diplomacy. But he has now got the permission of his parliament to pursue military operations outside of Russia, a domestic legal tick in the box that no one dare deny Putin. And the sanctions the West has already put in place against Russia, its banks and oligarchs, have been dismissed by Russia, who says it will retaliate with its own economic package. The Russian ambassador to the US, Anton Leontonov, put out on Facebook that the sanctions introduced against us will hit global financial and energy markets. The United States will not be left out, with its ordinary citizens feeling the consequences of the price increase in full. While Chairman Nikonov of the Russian State Duma's Committee on International Affairs told the BBC Radio 4 PM programme that targeting 3 individuals and 5 small banks was a laughable affair and that they'd expected far more from the UK, like banning Russia from the International Swift Payments Information System, for example. Something that many experts say would cripple Russia's finances. But as I understand it, for some reason or other, the EU seems to be against doing that. Maybe Germany's reliance on Russian gas has something to do with it. Anyway, now that Putin has taken parts of eastern Ukraine with no resistance, and what the Russians seem to view as little international response except for the massing of troops in NATO countries, NATO troops who will not interfere with his plans, and small beer sanctions, then maybe Putin will feel emboldened to continue before our leaders have time to get their heads around this constantly changing problem. And Putin does have one big advantage here. In his sphere of control, what he says goes. In the West, we have 30-plus leaders all looking carefully at the public opinion meter in their respective country and then having to coordinate. Putin also knows that we do not want to engage directly with him, because the end result could well be swapping ballistic buckets of sunshine with each other, which doesn't do anyone any good. So the West has a good idea that Putin wants more of Ukraine. But if, where and when he will strike next is the question, with the indications being more of eastern Ukraine and quite soon. Please subscribe and like this video, buy a mug and support me on Patreon or PayPal, and thank you for watching.